Night Flight 01. Welcome to another Chess 24 Blitz Banter. Let's kick off with E4. Not flight. Night fight. Try a Smith-mora gambit. I kept on saying Mora-Smith gambit for some reason for many years actually, and I realised actually it was Smith-mora gambit. I'm not sure entirely if that really makes a difference. Does it put more emphasis on the Smith more than the Mora? So anyway, yeah, Smith-mora gambit. And I usually get interesting positions out of this gambit. I think it's one of my more respectable gambit systems. In fact, here I'm wondering if I could just take and queen d3. I mean, I think the king, if it has to go there, and I've got access to c7, I'm not sure. That's a little bit on the dodgy side. If only knight h4, then g6 would be a real problem there. So maybe like g3 and knight h4 on king f7. It's just giving me g6. Well, there's also knight d5 here. If takes queen c8 check. Knight d5 is incredibly interesting as well. I'm tempted. I'm so tempted. It's more doubling of pawns. Hang on. Queen c5, knight c7 check. So I'm on c8. There's a bit of tactical this game already. Exploded tactically. I mean, seriously. Okay, but let's see. I can go back to I can play e6, maybe a knight e5 on king f7. What else? Is there any perk having the queen there? Queen takes b7 actually. Could be one perk trying to get this rook, this poor rook. Knight c6. This must be tempting for e6. E6 here. Unless my queen's going to get trapped. Mind you, there's always the bailout of e takes d7 if I play e6. I know one should look for a stronger move, but on Blitz it's difficult with the time constraints. It is a juicy looking position. ED and rook e1 coming up. Yes, I have had a cappuccino as well, by the way. I went to Cafe Nero and they do really nice cappuccinos. For me, Costa Coffee's too strong and Starbucks is too weak. Cafe Nero's, for me, in the middle. I don't know about you guys. So, okay, ED for rook e1 check. Bishop e7. And the queen's on c8. Well, I think it's a good thing to try and get to the king in the center. Surely. Bishop e7. Queen b3. Have I let my opponent off after bishop e7? It's not entirely... I haven't entirely broken down my opponent's position. What if I can just take and then knight e5 for knight g6? Oh, no, actually he's got that covered. That was probably a mistake. I think I've let off my opponent with this move somewhat. Okay. Oh well. I'll play for rook c1. I've got a small advantage, I think. Yeah, the pawn structure is pretty good. If I can get to play knight e5, then that would be good news. Rook c8, knight e5 for that pin, and also knight takes g6 as previously mentioned. It might actually see a reality here, this idea of getting this pawn. So knight e5. Oh, there's rook takes e7 here tactically. Rook e7, bishop b4. It looks juicy. I can't see any major objections to that. Check out the forcing moves. Although I don't regard captures as forcing moves generally. I think the only trustworthy forcing moves, as I mentioned last week, were checks. You can always, the Zwischenzugs, you've got to check out the Zwischenzugs on captures. But here it does seem pretty nice as far as semi-forcing stuff goes. I'll be a knight up. My back row is not yet terminally weak. So I'm a knight up, but just in case I'm going to slip up like that, I'm going to make some air, or just king f1 actually, to stop rook e2 as well. So hopefully I've reduced that possibility of the very embarrassing back row mate, which I've only fallen into about 6 million times in Blitz. So check and rook d8, but then there's king e6. So what about knight d4 first? Then there's rook b4. So there's a bit of fight here. If I bring my king to the center though, then knight d4, king d3, I'll be holding up b3. Let's try and remove counterplay here and any hope. So if I'm holding up b3, rook b4, I've got king d3. The king's nicely in the center. The knight's nicely blockading. I'm pretty happy here at the moment. Rook c7 check. It's a pretty successful, I think, Smith-mora. I'll try and fix down the pawns. And then Michael Adams, trying to like paralyze the opponent's pawn structure, just to reduce options, reduce counterplay, fix down the G pawn next. Okay, so now rook c7 check. Is there a mating net to be woven? King f6. For the moment, I'm not sure. What about just picking off this pawn? Actually, if I just pick off this pawn on d5, bit of counterplay. Protect that pawn. Try and win this d pawn if possible. I wonder about king c2 actually. King c2, does that gain a tempo? So I'm getting a key tempo here, but this b3 is going to go, isn't it? Do I really want to swap b3? Some of the quandary. Okay, I'm gonna take his center pawn for the b3 pawn. Okay. If I put my knight on g5 as a plan, so knight coming to g5 might be quite good. I want the knight to come to g5 as a plan, or e5. e5 is pretty central. I don't want the king slipping to g4, so maybe knight e5. That's a good start. It stops king f5 to g4. I don't want to be complacent about this position just because I'm a knight up. I want to make sure the king's not getting too aggressive. Steinitz says the king is an attacking piece, and actually played some openings to demonstrate that. But I think he had a bit of a change in style in his own career, very, very dramatic change in style, actually founding the positional school basically after he was a mad hacker like the rest of them, and somehow got enlightened and started playing more positionally, Steinitz. But in his crazy part of his career, he was using the king as an attacking piece, even in openings like this Steinitz gambit stuff. It's crazy stuff. I'm happy because I'm also ahead on the clock here, so it doesn't seem to be too much at the moment to worry about. There's rook c6 check coming up. Okay. Although I'm going to test this. There's king f5. That could be annoying. Okay, nope. Okay, rook over here. Let's start getting these pawns. Maybe my king can find shelter on h3. Okay. Thanks for the game. Night fight. That was a bit of a fight. Okay, let's go on to the next challenge. Okay. Audisto. Hello. Audisto. Alright, I'll try and play a King's Engine defense. Oh, it's a bottwin system. There is a classic recipe against the bottwin system, involving the d4 square. I had a game against Endgame recently, a few months back. He just put his knights into d4. It's slightly kill his hell. Just maneuver the knights against d4. Okay, stop that. But then I can try and play for... He's given up e5 potentially. So I can play for a6, b5, bc... Take it from there. I think the queenside counterplay and the dark squares are pretty good generally. Unless white's playing for d4 here. Do I need to play knight d4 now? Maybe. Maybe just to suppress white playing d4. Still play for b5. So I'm trying to get some queenside counterplay. Okay. Now bishop a6, b3. Do I play it anyway, or bishop b7? Actually, my d4 is a bit weak. Now, what about e5, f6? That looks terrible. No, the f6 I just take, so maybe this is possible. If it takes knight e6, maybe it's good just to reinforce d4 here. Bishop g5, maybe f6, and then g5. So f6 I take. Okay, maybe f6 here, just for a moment. I know it looks terrible defensively, but I think it might be necessary against g5. I don't want my bishop squished. And the problem is bishop a6, there's always b3. Okay. I don't want to take because it open up that bishop. So g5 is happening anyway. Maybe a5, a4, and then, in fact, a5 first, and then if b3, a4, and if knight a4, take it from there. Or maybe, okay. So it looks to be a difficult position, actually coming up here. Do I want the bishop over here? Maybe if a4 like this, supporting a4 actually, before I get flooded on the king side. This is my main target, I think, b3 in this position. Trying to get the queen side counterplay. I think the knight's okay on d4. It's not an entirely... I don't think it's an entirely unpleasant position at the moment. Alright, he's making way for his rooks to hack me to death on the king side. Let's try and get some play like this. Although there might be a tactic, bishop d4 on the rook here. Bishop d4, rook c4, knight d4, ed for bishop d4. If cd, rook, queen b4, what about rook c4 there? Knight d4, ed, bishop d4, rook c4, bishop moves, rook a4. What about queen b8 for rook b2? Queen b8 for rook b2. If he doesn't play this tactic against b4, yeah, it's potentially loose piece on b4. So knight d4 here is possible. He's going to play it. Ooh, okay, there's rook c4, there's knight c6. Knight c6 is not winning the exchange just yet there. If I play rook c4, knight e6 is not terminal. I've got the knight covering e6. Yeah, it's a pretty sharp position. Can I try and blow this into with d5, ed, queen d6? Goes into that diagonal. Also to consider, okay, queen d7 here. There's no queen d5 just yet. It's getting dangerous. Queen d5 would win the rook. It's good my knight's protecting d5. Is there rook d4 happening, or rook a4, basically, in this position? Coming up anytime soon. Rook d4, rook a4. Alright, bishop d5 is on the way. Can I play d5? There's e6. d5, e6, I take the knight. Knight moves, I might take that pawn. Takes, yeah, I think d5 might be logical here. Just hitting the knight. Oh, there's bishop d5, knight d5, queen d5 for knight e7. I've just realised. Okay, when you see that tactic, does it matter about that tactic? In fact, I might take and then queen f7. Maybe that's possible. Is that alternative just the take? So bishop d5, knight d5, queen d5, queen f7. Unless there's knight e7 check, king h8, I can't see it. I cannot see it. Let's see this. I'm relying on queen f7 here, fg queen d5, queen f7, rook f7. I can't see the problem. I've got the pin anyway. I've got the pin against the f pawn. So bishop d5, knight d5, queen d5, queen f7 protects the rook. I think that was stronger than d5. Because d5, I think... Ooh. Is there rook f5 here? I don't need to do that, do I? Not sure I need to do that. Bishop e5, rook e5. There's rook d4 there. Rook d4 breaks the pin. If bishop d5, knight d5. So rook e5, rook d4 breaks the pin, meaning d takes e5 is on the cards. Isn't it? He's relying on his pin. Okay, I need bishop d5, knight e5. Let's check this again. Queen d5, queen f7. Protects c4. Yeah. It's all very tactical. It's all very tactical in this position. Very concrete, as they say. I think rook d4 here safeguards the rook, breaks the pin. It looks like a juicy move. And threatens queen and rook. So it's basically a double attack as well. It looks pretty juicy to me, this position. I'll take this rook. I'll take on maybe g4 for rook f5. Bishop, I'm covering, I'm threatening. And if king g1, queen d4 simplifies, I think that's easiest. So I'm threatening rook f5, king g1, queen d4, get the queens off. Right, this knight's been pretty handy on c7 throughout this. Thank you, knight on c7. It's been a pleasure working with you, knight on c7, and thanks, Audisto. Okay, alright, let's go on to the next challenge. Moritz Janelski. Hi there. Moritz Jankowski, sorry about the names. I'm going to play Caro-kann. I think I'm still suffering post-dragon worries after last week. Post-Sicilian dragon concerns. I'm going to play this gambit. I've seen it being played before. I played it recently as well. This gambit, it's not been accepted. I want to get the play. I don't want to give the play. I don't want to give counterplay to the gambit. I want white to relieve the tension here. Is that going to happen? Is ED possible? It's not getting a tempo here. Is there a check? There's no check at the moment. I'm going to take this the dot squares out a bit with that. It doesn't seem too bad. Knight c6, knight f6. Well, d3 takes, knight c6 takes, not just knight f6. I just want to try and get an improved French defense. I'm going to let him take the pawn. Let him take some pawns. I just want to develop. Get an improved, I think, French defense. If white has to play f4, it definitely looks like a fun position because white's centre's crumbled. His king's still in the centre. I think I'm just going to do this and say I think I'm a bit better here. There's a chance, there's no check at the moment. I'm going to take this the dot squares out a bit with that. It doesn't seem too bad. White centre's crumbled. His king's still in the centre. I think I'm just going to do this and say I think I'm a bit better here. There's a chance, there's no check at the moment. I'm going to take this the dot squares out a bit with that. It doesn't seem too bad. White centre's crumbled. His king's still in the centre. I think I'm just going to do this and say I think I'm a bit better here. without too much hassle. Maybe bishop e6 is better to get my opponent to take on d8, but mind you, queen could move. So what's wrong with this? The king on the queen side is interesting. I think knight c7, rook c7, I'm not too concerned. I'm looking forward to maybe the discovered check is better than the capture here. No, I'll go with that. Actually, it's nice to have that center file straight off the bat, because these pieces are still spectator pieces at the moment. Nice, I like the centralization. a6, b5, knight c4. I think I want to have a knight on c4. Let's have a knight on c4 or not. Okay, definitely not. A knight c4 here. Maybe. Bishop c4, rook c4. There's a nasty pin, knight f3. I'm getting myself into a nasty pin here. Right, there's always knight c6, but this isn't ideal. b3 is going to be like winning a piece soon. Okay, that's not ideal. I'm going to mess that up a bit. His rook can come to the 7th. Yeah, I'm on the back foot a bit. Yeah. Oh, he's giving me a chance for king e7, so I can stop this rook entry, it seems. Okay, knight d4. I'm not sure how much damage knight d4 is doing at the moment. How is this ending? If I just go into this ending, if my king can be a bit more aggressive, there's not much in it. Right, I'll stop the use of g5. Oh, is rook e4, knight g5? Is that dangerous? Rook e2. I don't want him winning h7. So if I can get rook e4 without knight g5, there's rook e1. I can bring the king up a bit, I think. Got to watch out for rook e6 all the time and stuff like that. Depending on where I move my rook, there might be some fork at some point. There's another plan here, maybe just, okay. Now rook e5, okay, can I get my rook to the 7th first or not? Or g5 here. g5 looks like a nice move. Trying to weaken, can't take, trying to weaken the structure. Although I've got a backward pawn, my king is slightly more aggressive at the moment. If there is a small advantage, it might be in that. My king's a little bit more aggressive. So he can't take it, I'm going to take. And if he doesn't, he loses a pawn, actually. Alright. Now if I take here, I think he's got rook e6, so maybe just an obvious rook move is better than trying to be clever here. Trying to keep the pressure on f4. I can't yet attack my pawns. Okay, I'm going to win this pawn. First win a pawn and generate a passed pawn. Okay. If I do this, it's a bit passive. Okay, I don't want to spend too long though. Let me see. Does it matter about losing h6? I think I'm going to go for activity, you know. I'm going to have a rook on the 7 to cut his king. I'm just going to sack that pawn for a bit of time here to get this pawn going. And I don't want to lose my queenside pawns. Can I bring this pawn up sheltered from the checks for a moment? I'm trying to zugzwang the opponent almost. Okay, if I lose the B pawn, it's suppressing those two. Okay, a fair swap, or is it? Well, my king's even more aggressive now. That's what I'd like to build on, that sort of thing. My pawn will be aggressive, getting a lot more time here. Can I kick the king out? Let's see, where does this king go? If I do the checks, does it end up there on c1? If it does, alright, let's go with this position. Getting a bit more time again. Alright, threatening mate, will he spot that? Okay. I'll give my pawn a chance for e2. Now he has got two connected passed pawns. It is dangerous. Is there rook d2 to keep the rook on that side with tempo? I can take one of these pawns out. I think I might do that. Can't see an issue with that at the moment. Alright. Actually, can I ask what he's doing with this pawn? Does he move it to b6? Can I kick the king one final right away here? Potentially with rook check, a rook check. And it's going to be e2 if he's not careful. Okay, I'm getting that pawn as well. I want to kick the king out of the surrounding area. Alright, the king's cut off now. So now surely I'm free to march my pawn. I'll just take that. Okay, tense. Yeah, it's a good one. Well played. This is not easy. Okay, opening phonetic. Okay. Let's play e4. e4. Let's try King's Gambit because I'm crazy. And I have played this with some I don't know, unexpected success at times. I'm going to play knight c3 here because this is a good like Morphy counter gambit, but knight c3 might be, I'm hoping, less of a theoretical choice for my opponent. And for me, actually, because I don't know exactly how this is going to go. This might go into a Staunton gambit. This might be really embarrassing. Might be good to think here for a moment or two. Is e5 losing already? Okay, this probably wasn't the greatest opening ever to start improvising. Or ed, I'll just take that centre pawn and hope for the best. Or knight f3. Let's play knight f3. Just stop this queen h4 business. If I can regain the pawn at some point, this might actually be a decent position. I'll let him take another pawn here. Bishop f3, queen f3. Because I think I might have something there. Bishop d3. I might have the diagonal. Light square bishop is always going to be handy. So I'm hitting f4 immediately. Maybe bishop d3, bishop d2, castle queenside. Okay, I think this is a reasonable position anyway. It's going to castle kingside then, and c3. I think this is okay. As king's gambits go, maybe knight d6 on knight f6, just to weaken f4 in advance, and then maybe c3. As weaken f4 in advance, knight f6, knight d6. F4's getting a bit riper. G3 is possible here. FG, HG. I'm protecting that rook. I'm opening up the F file. Could be a bit of fun here to be had. FG, HG. Bishop G3, knight G3. I'm still holding at H1. The point is I'm ripping open that F file. So that's good King's Gambit concept. Just to open up the F file. Opponent does seem to be behind the moment. Alright, where's the queen going? It goes to E7, bishop G5. This looks very tasty all of a sudden. As King's Gambits go, this is a very, very tasty position, surely. Bishop f4. The king's still in the centre, and there's also queen b7. I'm not really sure why this is so good, but I think the opponent might have misplayed this. This cannot be this good. I cannot have this jack and queen b7 here. This is not. This is too good. This is too good to hold. This is far too good. I've got the bishop. I've got the bishop pair against the two knights. Okay, this looks juicy as juicy plums, etc. Juicy fruit, which one should have, by the way, as I've recently discovered, because I've now got gout in my right foot. So I've just bought a bowl of cherries before this broadcast, as well as the cappuccino, yeah, to try and resolve the gout issues. By the way, if you ever get gout in your right foot, yeah, fruit, yeah, okay. Anyway, aside from that, bishop c4, queen e4. I think bishop c7. Look at the forcing moves here. Bishop a6, queen a6, rook e7, king e7. Bishop g5, bishop d6, bishop e7. I'm looking as I'm crazy computing out these forcing moves. Computerize. Some way of pressurizing e7 here. Or is there no way? Okay, if I just play a move without running out of time, that might be good as well. Bishop c4, I mean, seems like a move. If he castles queenside, maybe bishop f7. Then bishop e6. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Alright. I don't want to lose my queen in a hurry. Queen e3. Queen e3. I don't know what he's doing to castle. G5, then bishop c7. Queen e3 looks good. keeps the king in the center for a moment, I hope. And also bishop c7 on the cards. Anything else to point out here? I'm threatening bishop c7, probably. The check. I don't think the check's doing anything particularly wonderful. What about just dropping this guy back for a moment? Bishop e5, queen g5. There's bishop d6 after knight c8. d5 here, cd. Queen c5 after. d5 might be good to try and open up the position actually for this rook and this bishop. I'm going to play that. I think the position's getting... Oh, got to be careful on the clock. 1 minute 16. I don't want to get in too much time pressure here. I think this activates the pieces more. So rook e5 is now threatened. King's in the center. It looks very good, but I don't want to use. I don't want to get below a minute, particularly usually, or 40 seconds or 30 seconds. That'd be really red alert. There's a back row issue. Has he got queen e7, rook e8, queen f6? There's always king d2, king e1 on any rook e8 coming up. Okay. Rook e5 as mentioned. Treble the pressure. There's queen a7 for the moment. Castles. Well, it's a pawn. Queen b8 threatened. So if he castles, there is no rook e7. If I let him off, yes. Okay. Try for this pin over here. Queen f8, rook e8 as an idea. Can I make my king a bit safe for a moment? So that's still pinned. I can take that. I don't think there's any killer checks. No, my back row is a bit weak. Let's get the queens off just for safety. Keep the pin. Right, I want to make sure I'm not getting mated on d2. Can I open up the g file? Switch my attention to that g file. Bishop h6. I've still got the pin. Oh, it's queen's hanging there. Oh, it's a bit tense. I was happy to get the position I did because I wasn't entirely sure about it. Sometimes you are improvising, which is a lot of fun in an opening in the King's Gambit there. I was improvising, to be honest. Okay, but that's a lot of fun to sometimes improvise in Blitz anyway. Thanks. Okay, so Chuko. I'll play Dutch Leningrad. Mentioned by Radio Yarn actually is a very good opening, and everything Radio Yarn says, that CM is very authoritative. I think it's almost like a GM in some of his comments he makes, and he mentioned the Leningrad Dutch as a great opening, and I think I believe him. Except I had a bad experience once in the last London Classic. I played the Leningrad Dutch and got a lost position at the opening against an 1800 Japanese player and lost thousands of FIDE rating points on one game. Yeah. After drawing with IM and GM earlier in the tournament, I used the Leningrad Dutch to lose disastrously. But apart from that, it's a great opening. No, for Blitz it is. I've had good results in Blitz with Leningrad Dutch. I can play knight f2 winning the exchange. Okay, so queen h4, f takes e. I shouldn't be winning the exchange out of the opening, should I? This does seem like a good position to have from the opening, because I've also got f takes and potentially, well, it does seem pretty juicy already if I keep the bishop on this diagonal, so it's not such tactical liability on f2. Okay, I've opened up the d5 square. That was a bit of a downside there. Access to d5. His king's more exposed than mine if he's going to play hg. h6 is a dangerous form pawn. I'm going to try and remove that. That fawn in my side there, h6, yes, that would be very naughty. I'm going to try and remove that. Okay, I've got some light square issues to worry about with e5 and bishop d5 coming up. I'm not sure I've played this in such a fantastic way now. So e5, am I scared? Do I just move my king? Maybe I'll just move my king, you know, to avoid bishop d5. And this is anything clever, I don't think there is. There's also queen h3 if bishop moves now. So bishop d5, queen h3 is mate. I'm threatening maybe h6. Do I take f5? I can't take that. f5. King's going here then. New residence on the dark square. I think I've got rook f5. Bishop h5. Bishop h3. Queen h5. Queen h5. Oh, bishop e6 after. I can't play that with bishop h3, can I? But maybe I'll just play d takes. D takes? If I play d takes, do I worry about this diagonal next? Knight g5 coming up. Is that a killer, knight g5? I wouldn't have thought so. I hope not. Knight g5, queen f5, bishop e4. That is mildly annoying. There's queen e7 here. Is that too normal? Queen e7. Alright, this diagonal next, is it? Okay, let's try and stop this diagonal being the next part of the torture session here. If I just take this, I don't think there's any queen d4. There's bishop c6 for queen d4 there. Bishop c6 on ed. I might just protect the bishop just for fun for a moment. That might make e takes d actually possible without losing instantly. So ef4, pardon me, ef4 could be possible without bishop c6 and queen d4. Here it is possible, my queen's protected. That does seem like a plausible move. I can't see a refutation immediately. I'm hitting the queen. Can I play this? Pre-moving that. I'm hitting the knight as well. Now there is knight e6 after. Oh, f3. Bishop moves. Okay. I've got f3. Right, I don't want to lose this dark square bishop. f3 first, I think, before I do anything else. Knight d4 I take on f2. Right, I think I want to sort of move this bishop. And obviously I'm giving back the exchange here. Okay, what about bishop c3 then? I want to keep my dark square bishop actually as high priority in this position. I'd rather have a pin on c1 potentially. If I take this guy out, it's a little bit dangerous with that pawn pawn, I gotta say. Can I take the pawn pawn out? Not really, I can't really take that pawn pawn out. Not yet, but there will be knight h6, rook h3 if he's not careful. Rook d1, knight h6. There's knight f7. Right, knight g8. Because knight f7 is nearly mating. Okay, this is getting worrying. I'm down on the clock as well. Okay, I gotta somehow... It's a bit dangerous. I gotta say this position. Too dangerous. I don't know what to do about rook d7, you know. Maybe king g6. I thought rook d7 was stronger. He's giving me a chance to get my king a little bit active. I don't mind that so much. There might be rook f6 here. I'll lose a7 as well. I'm going to lose a7 as well. Keep c6. Three pawns each. Alright. Activate my king and my pawns with h5, h4, g4, that sort of stuff. Pawn race. I get my bishop on e5 and then h3 will be more effective. I think rook g5 wins a pawn. That doesn't. King e3. King e4. Okay, carrying on with this. Bishop e5 h3 plan. 33 seconds there. Can I pre-move this? Trying to catch up on the clock. King e4 rook f1. King e4 rook f1. These pawns look menacing. Down to 30 seconds there. Rook f1 threatened. G2's checkmate. Ooh. Okay, it's 1-1. I got revenge. I told you, cappuccino. I was going to get cappuccino this week. Revenge. Thanks very much. Very dangerous opponent. Cafe Nero. Thank you, Cafe Nero, for caffeinating me this week. I needed it. There's some dangerous players here. Pushing me to the limits. Stretching me. Torture rack. On the torture rack. Okay. It's be like James Bond trying to find those little resources that escape from the torture or from the apparent death, you know, in the James Bond films. But he's given the chance to escape, isn't he? He's given the chance to be resourceful. They don't just shoot him, they just let him escape. Now this is something my good friend Paul Georgiou, who's been nearly FIDE Master Strength for like many years, been winning tournaments ahead of IMs and stuff. He plays this sometimes in Blitz. It's a surprise Nimzovich defense, and sometimes people play it like this with white, and basically they're giving up a lot of the dark squares in the position. You might wonder, I mean, h3, sometimes on bishop, you know, taking on a7, the f4 square becomes weakened. So, but mind you, both of these knights are symmetrical here, as if we're going to go into each other's f4 square at some point, or f5, which is Kasparov's favourite place for a knight, actually. He's mentioned like f5 is one of his favourite places for a knight. And yeah, if you look at a lot of games of the attacking players, they're often getting knights to like f5 or f4. I don't really want to give my opponent dynamic pressure on h6, so I'm not tempted to really take on g4. As long as there's no immediate threats, I might try blowing the centre here with the king still in the centre. Trying to blow wide open the centre might be interesting. Hans Gerard. Can I continue undermining here, or is that too ambitious? If I take, is this means I'm going to be worse all the time, because does it? I'm not sure that's a particularly sane comment there to make, but anyway, all right, I'm going to try undermining the center like crazy now with this stuff. Isn't e4 the king still in the center? There's loose rook on a1. The attacking players look at unprotected pieces as well as the king, because you get good stuff when there's a mixture of these two issues, king safety and unprotected pieces. There's also f5 anyway here, as well as rook e8, but f5, is there a refutation? I cannot see one. Knight sack, am I bothered? There's always, I don't know, queen f6, queen c3. You can't be too complacent. My king is compromised. Okay, the queen coming to pay a visit now at some point? Otherwise, I'm scooping up all these pieces. I'm going to be on f2 if he's not careful. After queen f8, so bishop h6, f takes, bishop f8, queen f8. I'm on f2. Is there any other interesting points to consider here? Queen h5, queen f6, bishop h6. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm just taking pieces here. I'm on f2. Oh, f2 here. Sound's gone. Alright, knight e5, queen g7. I'm on a1, knight e5, bishop h3, knight f3. That sort of stuff coming in. Knight e5, bishop h3, knight f4, knight f4, g3, queen g3. That just mates. Knight f4 just mates. Potentially there's queen e8 to consider. Move bishop d7 first. It's a nuisance. Alright, so knight f4, g3, queen g3, mating. There's no queen e8. I'm just taking out the checks. In a recent towel game, in analysis, I don't know if it's just the towel games themselves or the variations, you get a lot of insights, I think, into attacking chess. Use a strong engine like Houdini to find these resources. Like this towel game recently, it turns out Tao could have actually hacked his opponent's king to death if he had stopped certain key checks. I found that fascinating. He had everything, all the pressure was apparent, doubled rooks, but he needed to take out the opponent's checks from the equation. Okay, so knight e5 here. Can I evict the queen with bishop f6, bishop h4, queen moves? I could give that a shot just for fun, to keep the queens on, just for fun. I'd rather keep the queens on for a bit. If I can kick the queen out of here for either knight f4, knight h4. And bishop e5. Oh, there's bishop f4. Bishop f4. If I can kick the queen out, bishop f4. Oh, there's always queen h5, I guess. That's the pain of it. Queen h5. Okay, I'm not kicking the queen out, it seems. Rook b7's coming up. E3. Alright. Unfortunately, I mean, I cannot get this queen out of here. And also this rook b7's going to be a pain for rook d7 later. Oh, I can play knight e5, I suppose. It protects d7 in advance of rook b7, rook d7. Safeguards some pieces. Maybe a knight f3 is going to be useful. King h1, rook f8, rook f5. Rook f8 seems logical anyway. Rook f5, there's always rook b8. That's the pain of that. Maybe, I don't know, queen g6, I'm ending up losing a piece. Okay. So there's nothing, is there? I've got this fantastic position. There must be some forcing moves here. I mean, seriously, there must be. Okay, there must be some forcing moves that are good in this position. Knight g4, e3. Oh, come on. Knight f3. Maybe e3. Don't want to use too much time. I don't want to weaken my back row. I want to take his attack seriously. So if I do this, I'm not getting mated. I'm not losing d7 just yet. But I'm not entirely sure what it does. What about queen? All right. That's my point of the knight on e5. Okay, thanks. Yeah, it's got me scared a bit. Thanks. Ooh. Okay. Amando. I'll stick with e4. I mean, I could play other openings as well. But okay, Smith-mora. We're going to get a lot of Smith-mora because I like that. And the fianchetto here is interesting. I'm tempted just for an h-pawn attack. Okay, so I'm trying to keep that dark square bishop, obviously. h3, knight f6, bishop d3, and then just maybe castle kingside is okay. I mean, he's persuaded me that it might not be easy for an h-pawn attack. What I could do is just try and play on the queen side here for fun as an alternative to trying to hack the opponent's king all the time. I can play on the queen side with that c-file, maybe castle, rook c1, double rooks, maybe e5 later, like having to c7. It all looks fun later on. This c-file, yeah, I'm just going to play calmly on the c-file, I think. I give the hack attacks a rest in this game. Try and stop the opponent's counterplay. Play on the queen side, play on the c-file, infiltrate on c7 at some point. Okay. Okay, here we go. Protect the center for a moment. d5 knight and knight d4 plan suffers maybe knight e4, rook e4, doesn't suffer immediately. a6 looks vulnerable there. Knight d4. Think about this. How do I... Yeah, okay, let's just drop the bishop back to avoid knight b3, which would win the exchange. That's something to look out for. Little trick, winning the exchange, naughty. I wonder if I can play e5. It looks almost thematic actually to play e5 here. Except d5 is very vulnerable. Maybe it doesn't do anything, just loses d5 for nothing. If that's really the case, back to the drawing board for a plan here, actually. b4 looks too weakening for the c3 knight. I think I'm going to try and safeguard, basically, this knight's good. I can't do bishop b1 without knight b3. I'm a bit stuck for a plan at the moment. Bit stuck. That's nice on that diagonal. Okay. What about h4, h5, just to soften this diagonal? I said earlier I wasn't going to try for a hack attack, but it seems the queenside plan has come to a grinding halt. The opponent's queenside looks like Fort Knox. So I'm going to try with this side of the board again. Given that the king's on h7, bishops are like potentially for e5, that would be useful for the king. h4 might actually be a logical move in this position. I mean, given the state of this diagonal, this bishop counterpart of my bishop here is blocked in. So I think liberating with e5 and going for the king attack might be the right plan now. I mean, earlier it didn't seem like it, but this looks tempting. Just h4. If h5, knight g5, king moves, then what? f4 for e5 later? e5 now again looks tempting, even though I'm losing d5. What if I reinforce this for a moment to make e5 more tempting, so I'm not losing d5, and also it avoids the knight b3 stuff, winning the exchange if I get to play e5, opening up the bishop. At the moment, again, he's put me off h4 because it seems as though, okay, yeah, now e5 is more tempting than anything like h4 because d5 is pretty safe. Exactly what does e5 do? I think at minimum it's opening up the attacking bishop. It must be pretty good to open up the attacking bishop, surely. And then e6 is undermining that defensive pawn chain. If that pawn moves, that's going to be dangerous. I think it's the right time for e5. I think this looks thematic. Looks like a recent Michael Adams game I've video annotated on the channel. He played this e4 break in reverse. Thanks, Armando. Yeah, I got my break in without losing the exchange. I think it's good for white hair. What's the engine evaluation? Okay, well, let's go on to the next challenge. Crescendium. Okay, Crescendium. Yeah, that was tricky, that game, because I didn't know, wasn't convinced by any plan, the way the opponent was playing things. Okay, so we have this. Now I've got reasonable results with a particular system here that I learnt the hard way, that on c3 you've got to acknowledge that c4 can be played, and it's a bit of a risk what I'm about to do here. Because basically c4 is a move, and I'm hoping the opponent, I hope this is allowed on the stream. c4 is a move to strike at the weakness of the diagonal, and this is painful because otherwise I'm getting in e5 and it's going to be great fun. I haven't been challenged with c4 in a long game. I was, and I was destroyed, but here it's beautiful. This is beautiful antidote to white system. And this is actually a system I picked up from looking at a demo board of Lloyd's Bet Masters. I think a Ledger game against some GM. Ledger was black and he played this system. Maybe against Chandler. This is around the 1990s. I picked up this system which I really enjoy. With knight h6, knight f7. The whole system I really enjoy playing. I've had good results generally in Blitz. But one of the antidotes is to time c4 as soon as black is playing a move like f6, weakening the diagonal to trigger for trying to weaken this diagonal with c4. Here, okay, I'm piece up. Everything's gone swishingly well at the moment. Can't be bad to be a piece up. Got to watch out for d5, not be too complacent about this. I think just supporting, if that pawn's going to go there, that's okay. Yeah, it was one of those things that in Blitz, it's just not tested. That delayed c4 is not tested. You get away with this system in Blitz. You go to a long game, get destroyed if someone plays c4, because they're playing the exact like finesses of the position in a longer game, and you don't get tested, essentially, in Blitz games. The same plans, try them in a long game, you just don't get tested. Okay, I think my pawns are coming through the center here with d4. This looks very, very good. I'm not too worried at the moment. It looks pretty crushing, if I say so myself. But can't be too complacent. I think rook d2 will be a liability. So rook d3 there on e2. Rook d3 is not what the opponent wants to play, surely. Rook c1 plan, e1, bishop e5 after looks mating. Rook c1, e1, bishop e5 looks mating. All right, thanks for the game. Thanks for the game. Okay. Phenomenon. Hello. Smith-mora gambit. Yeah, my Blitz interest started, I mean, I've been about 190 ECF from about the 1990s actually, but in Blitz I've always really liked, so much so that even as a kid I used to go to Chalk Farm. There was a place called Checkers in Chalk Farm, run by someone called Ali Armin, who, it's funny actually, he did a tournament called Chess for Peace, which was anything but peaceful. It had a big prize fund. I remember Andrew Martin having rows with someone banging the pieces. Like, it was the most violent tournament I've ever been in actually. It was called Chess for Peace. So it was done by this guy Ali Armin, who did Checkers. I used to go to Checkers and play Blitz chess with my friend Roy, who I'm still know nowadays. Yeah, my Blitz chess culture has always been there. And when I play my friends, we're always playing 5-minute chess. And we had these weekend sessions. We don't so much because they're all like married with kids and stuff. But we used to have these weekends of 4-player all Blitz sessions with crisps and nuts. Basically, it was not very healthy. No alcohol, crisps and nuts, right? Scoffing them, playing Blitz, keeping scores, treating it very seriously. Especially Paul Georgiou, you know, king is, he took kings, yeah. We have to agree the rules in advance with Paul Georgiou about taking kings. It's supposed to be friendly, but some people treat it a bit less friendly than others. Okay, so we're carefully keeping scores. We do this like time and time. It was multiple these like weekends playing Blitz. And it's good fun. I mean, Blitz for me is, if you're passionate about chess, I mean, I've got a bias to Blitz. But then, you know, my insecurities about, people, you know, you shouldn't treat Blitz seriously. But if you look at a lot of the world champions, they were good at Blitz. Like Tal was the first official Blitz world chess champion, Mikhail Tal. And there's even video footage of that tournament on YouTube somewhere, where you see Tal, he's like swindled someone a piece down in one game. I mean, he's got lots of pressure, but it was a knockout, so he didn't have to play Kasparov. Kasparov managed to stalemate someone several pieces up and so got knocked out. It's quite funny actually, that first official World Blitz Championship, if you check it out. But yeah, my Blitz is different from my long game. But a few seasons ago I got lucky in one of the leagues. I had many wins in the Hertfordshire League, and I actually got both of the ratings, my rapid rating and my long ECF, at around 212 each for the first time. It was incredible. So I had like a rapid rating of 215, which is like top 50 for UK players, and my classical was also about 212. This is a few seasons back, but it depends what board you're playing on if you're going to keep your rating. If you have to keep playing really strong players, sometimes you're just going to lose most of the games, and that kind of happened a bit the next season. But my Blitz, yeah, I like Blitz chess. There's a certain culture around it. I think Spassky was into Blitz. I think for me, you know, yeah, Blitz has a special place. Yeah, and FIDE like recognize Blitz and Rapid now. There's individual FIDE ratings for Blitz and Rapid and Classical. But the way they calculate those is an offset from the main ratings, so it might not be entirely accurate. So rook c7, bishop b6. Okay, so what if I double rooks? No, there's some pressure here because bishop b6 is annoying. If king h1, king f1, I'm a bit worried here, I must admit. Although that queen looks a bit awkward, I don't like these batteries. What about bishop e5? Just trying to go for something like queen g4. Yeah, tip, don't ever organise a tournament called Chess for Peace, by the way. Unless you want a really violent tournament with people like beating each other up. Yeah, to be avoided if you're a budding tournament organiser. Yeah, okay, so bishop a2, b4. Kick this bishop out of looking at d6 here. That's naughty. Okay, I'll protect my bishop. All I want is the c-file. I don't want any tactical hassles. Don't want a tactical lottery. I want to control. I want to have authority on this c-file. You want to take my bishop? I want to come and double on the c-file and say, I've got the c-file, basically. Well, I can threaten stuff, I suppose. Encourage this. Bishop a2, because I'm threatening bishop d5, queen e8 now. And bishop b1 is almost like mating. No, he's not giving me the c-file. Yes, he is giving me the c-file. Okay, he's going to play for e3, isn't he? Okay, here we go. Oh, his rook's hanging. I would offer a take back, but I don't know how to. I mean, maybe I shouldn't because there's a lot of people waiting. It looks like a blunder, that one. Queen c2 check. Rook c7. Rook d7, queen g6 after. Yeah, there was Blitz is often used in a hustling context as well. This chess cafe, yeah, there was some people, chess hustlers, yeah, playing for money as well. It's a bit of a culture. It goes with the culture. It was a bit of but anyway, okay. Thanks for that. Moby. Okay, I'm not going to say the second name that reminds me of. Okay, hi Moby. Moby. So I'll play e4. I think yeah. Is Moby ready? Is Moby ready? How's it on the chat here? Hi there. I'm just working through the challenges from the earliest challenges later. I'm not crying about anything in particular. It's just that my eyes are a bit watery. I don't know. Today it's a bit cooler than it has been here. Okay, I better abort this. I don't know if it's an auto abort. I'm going to abort this in about a minute or two. Maybe Moby's gone to the loo or something. Okay, I'm gonna have to abort it because there's a few. I'll wait till. Let's abort it. Okay, come back to Moby in a bit. Okay. All right, Daniel Miroshnik. Now, you've got a name which says to me that if I play the Smith-mora gambit, I'm going to get a worse position. I have that bad feeling about the name and the rating together. But we're not having a Sicilian, apparently. Okay. Can we get a classic Roy Lopez or a Scotch game? Let's try classic Roy Lopez. Would I be asking for a lot of trouble? Try quick d4 to be really super annoying here. And try and gambit the heck out of this position. Now, I'm not letting play g6 and bishop g7. I'll find this extremely annoying. If I wanted a calm life playing a King's Indian style position, I would find it annoying if my opponent played like this, trying to gambit and open up things. so you could just double the pawns. That is a point. I know I've got wretched pawns, but I'm hoping pawns are not everything. Although I'm going to be losing another one here. I'm going to be losing another one here, aren't I? With a lost position. That probably is this game in a nutshell, isn't it? At the moment, if I don't have the exchange of queens, casting queenside might be a bit dicey. I'm whispering now because I'm uncertain about anything. I'm going to have to start whispering. Maybe. Maybe this is possible. I don't know. I'm just 2 pawns down or something. Am I? 3, 6. No, I'm just a pawn down. It feels like 2 pawns down because there's double pawns. Okay. Oh man, I've just realised he's non-premium. Oh God! Sorry. Oh man, sorry. Oh God. Can I offer a draw because he's non-premium? He's not going to accept it, is he? He's just winning. I could resign it. Oh crikey. Sorry, I've done this blunder again. Yeah, please can there be a feature to avoid challenges from non-premium? Oh dear, as a filter or something. I'm getting mated anyway. Oh. I'm going to extend the session a bit. Sorry guys, I'll extend the session. Yeah, please don't challenge me if you're non-premium. This is unfortunate. And it's even more unfortunate I'm losing horribly. I'm too late to have bought. I smacked myself in the face. I'm going to try and play quickly. So I'm either going to win quickly or lose quickly. I think wasn't Queen H4 mating me anyway? That would have finished the game off just quickly, wouldn't it? After King H1, wasn't Queen H... Let's have a quick look at that position. Okay, we got in this position now. Sorry guys. Do I have to resign? I don't want to lose my rating points. Please. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna win or lose quickly on the board. Can I offer a draw now? If I offer a draw, because I've just won a piece, right? Will you accept it? See, I'll do that as a compromise, yeah? Sorry. Come on. Draw. I've just won a piece. Draw. I don't lose 6 million rating points this way. For my own incompetence accepting challenges from non-premium. Please, to support these streams, it's a really great site, and I'm not just saying that. I really enjoyed the broadcasts of major tournaments, like the British Championship was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. So it's well worth becoming premium. Oh, is that mating or something? What about Queen E4? I do threaten Queen H4. It's not mating, is it? I'm still holding G2. So I think I'm evicting that knight. Now if knight G6... There are a lot of benefits to coming premium. I'm going to make this into an advert now for Chess24. It's a great site. No, seriously, it's a great site. Please become premium to challenge me and other streamers. It's a fantastic site. Worth every penny. If you're a chess enthusiast, Chess24, it's your playground to the chess world. Your online playground. And I really believe that, actually. I think it's very, very playful, the facilities. Do I have to accept the draw offer, guys? Do I have to? I'm 2 pieces up now. He's gonna resign, isn't he? It's only a minute. It's only a minute, and I'll check more carefully. I'll check more carefully next time. Coffee time. This is Kenko, strong version. I didn't think it was that good originally, but then you get used to it. Sorry about the gulping, actually. I should do this coffee drinking somewhere else. Right, there's bishop f4. I've got this nice pin. I'm winning material. Let's stop this counterplay. Bishop d5. Yeah, I think it's blundered his attack. I'm so sorry. But I'm going to extend the session. I'm going to make up the time. Okay. To give all you guys, I'm going to try and get through all my challenges today. To clear out all the challenges. Am I not just killing this position? Am I not? Yes, naughty, no challenges from Prims. I'm going to have to write that on the text. Okay, challenges, thanks. Okay, now I'm just going to check. Let me decline any challenges from non-premium. What if I decline that? It's also 2785 anyway. So that I would have been probably totally beaten the hell out of. If I decline those in advance, can someone remind me to decline those in advance? That would avoid any potential blunder, wouldn't it? If I decline those in advance from now on. So Reti Forever is playing a fairly schematic plan here of d5 torture. It's the d5 torture rack. I'm on the d5 torture rack here. I've lost many games when white uses this torturous plan, to be honest, in the bottwin system. It's very, very logical. It's what I was trying to play with black basically a few games ago. I'm hoping I've cleared out so I can play this without losing the rook. Can I just try and simplify a little bit? I don't know if that's going to help. d5 is my weakness, among other things, but no, d5 in particular. They look good together. When Tao brings his rooks together, he usually wins. If it's good enough for Tao to bring the rooks together, it's good enough for me. They might actually do something, although my structure is about to be dented. What about e4? Structure is about to be under attack. About to get a horrible backward pawn. I don't think e4 does anything. That's the problem with e4. I don't think f4 does anything in particular. I could scientifically survey this position. I'm not entirely convinced about anything at the moment because a5 looks strong. So, passively defend at the moment. Rook b8. Let's go back. Maybe rook d8 e4, then takes queen d2 just to try and break the pawns up a bit. We'll try and weaken this structure here. It looks pretty strong. Rook d8 e4. Opens up the bishop. b6 is not dropping off just yet. I have to play this. I'm losing b6 though. I've got access to a1, potentially queen a3. So I'm playing something like f4, there's queen a1, there's rook b1 after. ed, queen e1, f4 after. Back row is a bit vulnerable. f4 here, queen e1, bishop h3. Queen e1, bishop f1. f4 straight away for queen e1. The checks, is that dangerous? Keep on this diagonal for a moment or not. King g8 might be safer if I want some tactics later without any queen c3, queen b2. So if I play f4 here for queen e1, bishop f1, bishop h3. Anything else going on here that I should know about? f4, I'm not really sure. He's not doing that. Well, f4 again for queen a1, bishop f1. Queen a1, there's no rook b1 now because that queen's not supporting rook b1 or queen b1. Bishop f1, bishop h3. There's no major checks. Oh, there's a check on b2. No, there isn't a check on b2. That looks good. That looks good. I gotta say, I can't see any objection to it immediately. There's no checks. Oh, hold on a sec. Hold on, let's undo that. There's queen e2. Queen e2. Hang on, there's f3 there. f3. There's no queen e6. Queen e6, bishop e6. Just f3. This looks like killing. Queen e2, f3. I've noticed recently from other streaming that if I look into, this is my serious look, when I'm getting closer to the monitor, I'm trying to get closer to the resources position, trying to forget I'm even streaming this or whatever. Just trying to look into the positions, the resources. Queen e2, f3. It helps sometimes. It's crucial, otherwise I'm losing this position if I can't get this attack working. He's broken through with that rook on the 7th. Structurally, it was a good plan to break through. Everything was fine apart from these little tactics against his back row. I think f3. I can't see an objection to f3. Alright, it's resigning. Yeah, it's crucial. Yeah, the little resources are crucial to take account of. Thanks for that. Vampire. I'm going to take my blood, this vampire guy. I'm taking blood here. Vampire. Okay, vampire. Can I break into the 2300s? Yeah. If I beat you. Okay, 2297. Peak rating here at this server. On other servers on Blitz, I've been up to 2630 on peak. On auto pairing it's different, but I've been quite high on standard Blitz ratings in the past. When you can choose your own opponent, write your own checks for your rating, if you stay away from auto pairings, if you want to do that. Misty glasses. I'm gonna sort these out. Okay, a little bit. Am I aborting here? Okay, I'll abort here now. Blitz enemy, right. Is anyone ready? Put everyone off. Come on. Why is Kingscrusher not Kingscrusher? It was taken on when I first had that. Wanted that nickname. Kingscrusher was taken, and I thought Kingscrusher has a certain ring to it. Crusher of Kings, Kingscrusher. All right, okay, no one's ready. Is anyone ready? All right, I'm going to give a standard policy here of 30-second wait. Okay, I'm going to wait until 2:04 because we've got a big list here of challenges. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's at least 10. And it's 2 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to have to abort this, guys, because we got a big list here. Alright, Wizard Buddha 2371. Alright, let's try Vienna game. I think. Play this line a bit. D4, I think, is a bit suspect. I played that recently. Didn't turn out very well. I had some good games with this thing. I'm not rook f3, bishop f3. So I'm protecting c2. I've had the game like this recently against. I am on Blitz, which although I lost, I was like 2 pawns up with a crushing position. I was experimenting with webcam, funny enough, which probably didn't help. But I think I'm getting used to it. You've got to get into the resources position as you normally would with any context, really. Okay, I'm on the bishop here. Is it worth playing g4 or d4? My piece is okay. And queen e4 or g4, maybe g4, knight h4, knight g5. Takes win d4. I know it's a little bit weakening. I'm probably going to regret it. Is he really going to play f5? G5. Try and seal things up. Maybe for a knight coming to f6 there. Knight e6 is not winning a pawn just yet. It's a bit of a trade-off there because weakening the f5 square. As well as the light squares, they look pretty horrible. Am I losing a pawn? I can take the pawn on b7 at the moment. I want to play h4, knight h2 to g4 to f6. Is he winning d4? Now take those knight e2. This one? Seems to be getting munched at the moment quite successfully. If I play h4 for bishop d4 coming up, my king's really weak. Rook d3, rook f4, that sounds better. Bishop g5, bishop rook f7, bishop e3. Still, it seems better. One's bishop c5. Rook h4 for queen h3 at some point. Rook f4, bishop g5. What about h4 for rook f4? Play rook f4 for f7. One's queen e6. And queen e6, bishop d4. Queen e5, bishop d4, queen d5. Maybe there's some pressure. Bishop d4. Maybe not. Queen e4. Queen e4, rook d5. I wonder if rook not rook f7. Let's get the king out of the dark squares for a moment. Queen e5, rook f7. Alright, let's keep the queens on for a moment because I'm like pawns down. I'm not sure this Vienna game is that hot actually now. Maybe I should give it up. One of those things I should give up. Yeah, okay. I'm losing all my pawns pretty successfully at the moment. I'll take one back. Bishop g5. h6, h6, rook e5. Bishop d4, bishop g5. Getting munched to death and I'm losing on the clock at the same time here. This is not too clever. I'll install the form pawn just in case it does anything. So I'm a minute down. I'm 6 million pawns down as well. But I've got a form pawn. There's rook e5 as well to chop up about. Oh, bishop d6 doesn't even work. And get behind this pawn over here. There's bishop a1 for back row. Not really. Oh, bishop comes back to a1 just in time or not. This is a problem. There's no real cheapos here, is there? I'm running out of time. Okay. There's no cheapos. Running out of time. This looks pretty doomed. It does look pretty doomed, I've got to admit. Can I keep the form pawn? Ah! This looks so doomed, I should resign really. I think I'm going to have to resign this one. I'll just play bishop a1. I've got always bishop g7 as well. it's completely lost, and completely lost on position and time. Apart from that, any other ways it's losing, it's probably losing. Well played. Not enough pawns. Okay, no, I'm not crying. It's just that I've got teary eyes, honest. Although that would be a good emoticon, you know, on the resign page, teary eyes would be a good emoticon as well, coincidentally. Now, the Vienna game, as that game showed, might not be one of my soundest parts of the repertoire when up against really strong opponents, by the way. Quick note to self. But I have had some good results, actually, against even IMs sometimes with it. I don't know if those good results should be discarded if fundamentally the opening's not that hot. If there's an element of luck, I don't know. Bishop or f6 is... I'm not losing the queen yet on this diagonal if I play f6, although bishop c4 is already dangerous. I do wonder about king h8. Just safeguard things, or bishop g4. Maybe I get the chance to play. I'm not sure. Queen. I'm not sure about this. I like letting this diagonal to be weak. There's an e6. I might be playing on f3 for d4 soon. All right, queen b7, rook c8. I'm going to play bishop f3 and knight d4. Well, I'm not too worried. Should I be worried? I'm not sure I should be worried. I'm not sure what me worry, as Alfred E. Newman would say in Mad Magazine. It's an iconic magazine. I don't know if I mentioned that. I used to get regularly, following up for my brother getting Mad Magazine, but then we stopped after a while. But yeah, what me worry was one of his expressions, Alfred E. Newman. What is my worry here? Knight. Alfred E. Newman had a tooth missing. It was quite funny. Iconic. Okay, so knight g5. Knight f3 coming up. Looks good. Maybe I should have considered. It was king g2. Okay, knight f3 coming up here. Is f5? I mean, it looks as though it blocks in this bishop. I mean, blocks in this bishop. I haven't got a bishop to. I haven't got a light square bishop that I've just killed or anything with f5, so that's good news as well, positionally. As you say. I could play for this in f4, g5. I could try and evict this queen for fun, stop a7 dropping. Maybe then something like g5 takes f4. If it doesn't take, then takes queen h4, bishop g3, or g4, or I think g5 is like an interesting sort of move that, I don't know, maybe rook c6 and g6 here looks good as well. Rook c6 to g6. But f4 immediately looks pretty crushing. I mean, if I get a pawn on f3, this looks very interesting. Well, there's always like g6 for winning the rook, I suppose. Now, before that happens, actually king h1, rook c6, I mean, there's maybe g6 there. Do I get a chance to to attack here. If I play rook c6, g6, take the queen, takes my queen. No, he takes the rook first with check. Now I'm not convinced because of this g6 resource. Actually, this is like nonsense when I've played. Queen f8. Okay, okay, no panic, not yet. I can keep the pawn pinned just by moving this rook to say c7. c7 might be a place to move the rook, although it's not desirable. What about just moving the queen? Hold on a sec. Queen d7 might be more logical. g6 is still a pain. Maybe there's rook c6. Do I keep the pawn pinned? I don't know. I'm just going to play this and hope for the best. because at least the pawn's pinned. So I want to play like queen out of there again, or queen d7, queen h3 would be something. Queen d7 to h3. Alright, so here there's also back row issues creeping because of that pawn, form pawn, Thorn. Queen h3 looks like mating almost. Bishop f1, though it defends, unfortunately. Rook c2, bishop c2. I can't play that because queen c8, I'll lose everything. Rook c6 for a moment. Okay, so the slight snag here is this bishop f1 resource. Slight snag. Otherwise that would be wonderful. Is bishop f... what is that queen going on there? What about knight c2? That loses f3 like that. If my rook goes back to f8, trying to hold the form pawn. So then I've got things like knight c2, trying to snuff out that bishop for queen h3 later with that bishop f1. So I'm playing knight c2, bishop c2, rook c2, I'll have queen h3. Alright, queen h3 here. Bishop f1, unfortunately. This back row looks good anyway. Maybe I just take and go for the back row. Is that crazy? Or do I keep the queens on? I think I should do something quickly, whatever happens. I go for the back row. Form pawn's still exerting an influence here. Knight c2. I'm not convinced about anything. I don't find my own play convincing in the slightest at the moment now. The opponent seems to have a solid position, no king safety issues. He's blundered a rook though, that's the slight downside of that move. Yeah, I'm afraid. He's doing so well. So well. I feel like a pirate. There's a recent Tal video, Tal playing like a pirate against poor Smyslov. Smyslov was winning all the games, but ended up losing most of the games. A pirate. Just stealing here like a pirate. Stop bishop d5. Mind you, Blitz is more piratey in nature than long games, I guess. What should I suppose expect? Swindles and stuff in Blitz. Staircase, going up the staircase. I was a pirate Kingscrusher was a pirate here. Okay, thanks for the game. I couldn't quite get things working there. Blitz dating. It's another form of dating. Play Blitz chess with potential girls. Play Blitz chess. How good is that Blitz? Blitz dating service. Okay. And why have I played the dragon? I find myself, somehow, I've been conned into play a dragon. I don't remember any conscious decision to play a dragon, but this does appear to be a Sicilian dragon, which I didn't want to play. Okay, apart from that, everything's great. Why couldn't I play the Caro-kann? Let me rewind this. I'm just playing the Sicilian. I'm going blindly into the Sicilian dragon for some reason on autopilot. Anyway, it's a fun opening sometimes. If you don't get hacked to death on the H file, it's fun. Other than that, it's not very much fun. There's been quite a few challenges this week. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through the end of the challenge list like last week. Well, thank you for the interest in trying to crush Kingscrusher this week. I'll play for a bit more to try and get through most of the challenges. So knight c4, bishop c4 is the standard sort of trying to get rid of the light square bishop. Would add some defensive capability potentially if I had the light square bishop. It avoids like nasty pins on f7. Get rid of that light square bishop. On the other hand here, this has got its own nasties to it. Does appear rather dangerous. Can I? No. Bishop 8's not working because of knight e6 after. And if I played like this, would this be asking for it? I mean, it probably does. Maybe just asking for a rook sack. I guess I'm asking for it. It does stop bishop h6. There is a perk to this self-service for the king. Self-service defense. Not relying on the other pieces to defend the king, but the king is helping himself. Is e6 at all possible? There's always bishop g5. e5, bishop g5, rook d4 maybe. I'll play e5, trying to dislodge my opponent's center pieces. Bishop g5, rook d4. Fe, bishop e6, the pressure's off the pawn chain a little bit. If he does that. I.e. the pawn chain is not completely wiped out. Alright, this position. Queen e8 is possible. I don't think there's a knight c7. Knight f4. There's knight g5. But other than that, seems like an interesting idea. King's not had it totally just yet. Maybe bishop c6 trying to bite the centre a bit more. Get the centre, it controls d5 a bit. Avoids some dangers there. Does it matter about d6? Maybe not necessarily. I think bishop c6 looks like an idea, because it might open up this bishop, if nothing else. On queen d6, queen e5 there. Knight e7 check, I don't know. King h8. Let's have a look at this again, or not. Knight f4 takes. Well, there's queen e4. There's a lot of intensity on the center squares here, actually, from the knight and the bishop. This is not bad for central pressure. I mean, also it's a pivot to get to my king, so that's handy to try and control d5 here, because this knight's just asking for help from the queen on d5 or the diagonal. I'm not saying I'm the greatest defensive guy ever, but this looks as though I'm not getting mated immediately, so that's good sign. Queen e7, just get the queens off and be thankful my king's still on the board. Okay, am I losing an exchange? Well, there's always knight e2. There's a check, there's d5. ed, that's winning the bishop. Rook b4, knight d5, knight d5, ed is winning material. Rook c3 is looking like a desperate move, but on the other hand, you know, knight d5 is winning material, or is it? Bishop d5, queen b4. What about just rook d4, just trying to open up the bishop? Yeah, that looks logical. If I'm going to lose the exchange, I might as well open up the bishop, and then queen e5, d3, a counter attack on the dark squares. Yeah, that looks more reasonable. Lose the exchange in style. So knight e2, d3, knight f4, queen e5, c3. What if I take and then d3, queen e5? Do I take first or d3? Maybe I take first. Maybe just queen e5, d3 threatens. It's stronger than d3. The threat is stronger than the execution, as Nimzovich would say. If queen d3, bishop b5, if rook d3, bishop b5, threatening d3, cd, rook queen a1. Okay, I'll take some center here. Or rook f3, d3. That looks crushing. There's no immediate check. King c1. Bishop e4 looks absolutely crushing. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. But I'm opening up positioning. It's positional as well. I'm opening up this bishop. Looks like murderous to me to do this. There's also bishop h6 to factor in, but bishop e4 for it looks murderous. King c1, queen b2, queen c2. This is like forced mate or something. King e1. Well, bishop e4 for a start. Looks really dangerous. Oh yeah, bishop h6 looks dangerous. If rook d2, queen a1 is mate. If king b1, dc is like winning like loads of material. Oh, it's checkmate anyway. Okay, yeah, thanks for the game. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, you got to watch out for the dragon bishop. You got to watch out. That's okay, Kaz next. This is a long session. There's a whole load of new challenges here from last week. What is this? You're keen to crush me this week, are you? I'm going to play something I swore never to play again, called the Albin counter gambit. It's a load of rubbish, but sometimes it works. Like 1 in 10 times you get a fun game. Now, whether you're the sort of person to play chess like that for the 1 in 10 chance of a fun game is another question. Here it seems a3, the opponent knows what he's doing actually with a3. have I just done, man? What have I just done? Why have I allowed this knight be free? Why am I so oblivious to losing a pawn for nothing? Seriously, I am seriously oblivious to this. Why didn't I just play queen, like, prepare for this eventuality of white nicking a centre pawn? Okay, I'm not the greatest Albin counter gambit player ever, I would say. I keep doing this, routinely losing the centre pawn. I'm sure there was a way that didn't have to be lost, that centre pawn, but fine. I'm hoping for some piece pressure now. That's what I'm hoping for, some piece pressure for the material. Rook d8, knight e4, maybe even queen b4 can be considered. With the king on the centre. Rook d8, knight e4. There's also bishop f3 to consider. I'm hoping there's going to be some tactics here while the king's in the centre. And so knight e4. Am I really threatening queen b4 potentially? Am I just making that up? Bishop f3 and queen b4 might actually be reality. On g3, bishop f3 takes. He's always got the squares. He's going to get the queens off. This is going to be bad. This is going to be bad news, isn't it? He's going to get the queens off. Will I get bishop c2? He's got bishop d2 after that. Why play this opening? I swear, why didn't I just get rid of it for my repertoire? It's a bad, silly thing I keep playing for some strange reason. Can I do anything here, like with bishop c5? Or is it completely busted? Rook d2, queen h4, fe. There's no bishop c5 coming up. Rook d2, queen e5, fe, bishop c5. I wouldn't have thought so. Gotta say. I think terrible. Go on, get the queens off. B2 pawns up. See if I care. Just because you're 2 pawns up. Yeah, I've got a 30-second clock advantage here. Obviously, that counterweights the 2 extra pawns and my shattered pawn structure. Once he gets the development going, this is not going to be funny. Well, he's letting me keep the queens on. I think I'll take him up on that for a moment. G6 is always bishop c3. Queen f7 for bishop d6. Yeah, don't ever play the Albin counter gambit. That's a good tip from this game already. Don't ever play the Albin counter gambit. Seriously, if you don't want to have positions like this, I mean, it's not just losing, it's the post-traumatic stress of having positions like this. It's bad for you psychologically. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I don't know. You know that 1 in 10 thing? The 1 in 10 you get an exciting game? Maybe it's 1 in 20. It could be less than 1 in 10. Someone has been kind with comments about Morozevich. The thing is, Morozevich studied like hell all of his sidelines, so he could play them with some success. Oh, there's bishop h3 now. And if rook d6, there's c5. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, this gets better. Do I have to play king d7 if bishop h3 now? Oh, God. Ouch. Ah. Yeah. This gets more painful by the second. I think rook d6, there was c5. I mean, unless I'm imagining it, rook d6, c5. So this is pre-move time. This is called pre-move time, where you try and win on time. So basically, it involves doing lots of pre-moves and trying to win on time, as the name would suggest. Or implication. I'll try and lock down. I'm ready for a4 for a lockdown on my opponent's big queenside pawn majority. If I get my pawns away from the evil dark square bishop first, and then try and put pressure on something, e3, just for fun, give my opponent something to do. Rook b3 for bishop a3. Rook b3 for c5 for bishop a3. It's something. I'll take it. It's something. Right, so bishop a3. Can I nick a pawn back? Yeah, a good opening. Slav defense, very popular at the Super GM level. Grunfeld defense. I keep saying about the Grunfeld, but you might need to buy a few books on the Grunfeld. It's very theoretical. Maybe Queen's Gambit, like Tarish lines, if you want an isolated Queen's pawn for a bit of activity. I think even the Budapest Gambit, I've had overall better results than this Gambit. This Gambit is it's one of my bad chess addictions. Although chess is an addiction, you have addictions within addictions. And maybe addictions within those addictions. But this is one addiction I want to get rid of within my chess addiction, called the Albin counter Gambit. This is why. You get positions, you have this grovel back, swindle. I'm happy that my opponent has only got 2 seconds now approaching. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should play a normal opening. You played well. Okay, so actually regarding openings, I was looking at certain players that Botvinnik had to face, where otherwise they were really good players. I'm not sure I got concrete names to give you, but sometimes they just got really bad openings against him continually. And I don't know if they were that bad in the middle game. You know, sometimes you've got to get a good opening position. I think that's my point. Okay, am I aborting this? We've got a big list, guys. We've got a big list to go through. I'm sorry, if you've got to be ready. Please be ready. Chaco, that was from earlier, right? Okay. We're playing twice. Oh, Gould. Okay, you managed to get... Oh. I don't know if there's another rule about playing the same person twice, but if you're on the challenge list, you're on the challenge list. I'm going through in challenge order. I've seen this before, and I don't know really what white's supposed to play. I've completely forgot. I'm going to try and play simply. Probably not that great, but I've got the 2 bishops. I think I've got a reasonable position. I'm going to castle kingside because I think he's up to naughty business with bishop a3 or bishop b4. If I castle queenside, I don't want any naughty business. Knight d5, bishop d2 for queen f7. Queen d5, bishop e5. Rook d1 after the pawn seems weak. It's better than nothing. Bishop e4, keep the queens on. Bishop e4, keep the queens on. Am I serious? Do I want to keep the queens on? I don't know if I want to keep the queens on. This bishop b5 stuff seems lucrative. Rook d8 after. Let's keep the queens on for fun. Right, Tell often keeps the queens on. Okay, put the Tell hat on for this crucial decision. His opponents are trying to get the queens off against Tell quite often. And there's some games where there's like literally queen dancing for several moves. Are the queens going to come off on, etc.? Dancing queens game against Spassky, there was like dancing queens for like several moves, I think, once. I think it was a crucial last round encounter. So queen h5, g6, queen h6 after. I'm happy I've got the queens on, because there's some opportunities now with the queen on for inflicting some serious damage, potentially to the opponent's king, actually, from this sort of position. I think there's some serious damage potential. If I drop this bishop back, queen h4, rook f6 coming up, doubling the rooks. I've got this f file to play with. I can double rooks on f7. It seems vulnerable. Mind you, my e5 is weak. Maybe just bishop g7. Maybe rook e1, bishop e5, bishop g6. That'll be okay. Queen g6, bishop e5. I can sneak the idea of bishop c4 here for f7 torture. Bishop c4 protected by the queen. Knight e5, bishop c4. Bishop c4 here. Queen h4, bishop f7. Looks okay. Takes. Now I'll keep the queens on again with queen h3. I'm not so sure now. e6 takes, ef is crushing. F takes is not doing anything. Not convinced about queen g4 for knight e5. Queen f4, knight e5. Bishop c4, I'm not convinced. Maybe the best thing is I'm not sure. Because the rook can take on e5 after, it's not convincing, unfortunately. You can take the queen off, bishop f7. His rook's going to take on e5. Is that the end of the world? I've still got the bishops. I think I've still got an advantage, in fact, with the two bishops here. Surely losing that pawn for f7 is not entirely bad. Rook e5, that's the problem. What do I do on rook e5? Rook d1? Rook d1 maybe? Knight moves somewhere. No rook d8 because of bishop d8. Knight moves, say, to c5. Rook d1 I think is the problem for black there. Rook e5, rook d1. He's not immediately playing rook e5. I'm not sure why. Is it because of rook d1 being strong? Strong looking. Knight b6. Oh, no. You can't do that. Can't allow e6. He had to take on e5. Surely. There's e7 here. This is running him over. It's running him over. e7. Okay, not so quick. Apparently. E7 still. Rook f7, e8. E7 still seems to be running him over. Rook f7, knight f7, e8, queening. Knight f7, I take the rook. e7 seems crushing. Let me just check this again. It seems crushing. Two exchanges down. 2 pins. 2 exchanges down. 2 pins. I 2 pins. 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 2 pins lose that f7 knight for a start. Alright, thanks for the game. 2300! 2300! Here I come. 2300. Thanks for the game. Sorry, I shouldn't be excited about my rating here, but I'm new to the site, you see, so please excuse. I've been climbing a little bit each week. I've been secretly climbing as part of this facade of Play Kingscrusher. I was trying to get my rating up as well. Here, my bullet rating is still above 2600 on this site, but I want to get my Blitz rating up. I know the super GMs don't care about their online ratings, but for the rest of us mortals, online ratings are a lot of fun. Okay, so if I take and then G5 for F4, so Eliakim, I play F4. I'm going to get the dark squares. I like getting the dark squares in this sort of thing. Maybe you can get my dark square bishop. Or my light square bishop. But I have dark squares. Maybe knight d4 hitting the bishop. Maybe c5 after. Keeping a fast tempo against my fairly strong opponent. Relative to my rating here, 2180. Keeping a fast tempo going. Knight g6, knight d5. He's going to kick my knight with c3. In the meantime, what I want to do there, queen e8 for h5. There's always knight d5, knight e2 after that. Maybe I'll take. Oh, that's tricky. What about knight g6? And perch the other knight on e5, knight e2. I don't know. Bishop f5 is coming up. This is the serious thing about this position. He can play knight e2 and drive a wedge. I mean, not drive a wedge. Put the bishop on f5 soon after knight e2. Knight e5, bishop f5. He's not doing that. He's weakening c3 instead. Knight e5, bishop d4, knight g4. Okay, c5. There's knight e5 after with tempo. And potentially for knight f3, forking king and queen. On bishop f5, rook f5 for knight f3 to win queen. So knight e2, knight e5. Bishop f5, rook f5. Bishop h3, knight f3. And that's interesting here. Hitting the bishop. So bishop h3, knight f3. Bishop f5, rook f5. Let's play knight f3. Well, if I play this position, I don't mind that, I think. Or do I? What about knight takes g4, there's knight f5. Maybe that's better, because this rook f5 is a pain. This bishop f5 is a pain. He's going to be winning a pawn. I'm not sure about sacking the exchange there. CD, bishop f5, rook f5, ed, queen b6. Do I want to sack the exchange? It's not very convincing. What about going back to knight g4, there's knight e6. Okay, I think losing the pawn is probably the best bet. Maybe sacking the exchange. He's always got c3 after that, dc. And round up that pawn. On f5. If I get a pawn for the exchange, I'll be happy. On c3, I've got dc. I'm attacking his queen. The knight's pretty well perched on e5. I want to play rook f. I just want to play rook f8 and rook f5. It's queen c5 possible. Try and reinforce things. I'm on c2 there. e5 is not falling away just yet. Yeah, I'm concerned. I'm the exchange now. I'm concerned, of course. Knight f3 is to be borne in mind. Bishop d4 for bishop d4. Take there. I'm hoping there's some compensation anyway. Is that knight d3? Bishop d4, knight d3. It takes my queen. If I double his pawns, bishop e3, would he just sack the exchange immediately? Don't want to take that. I guess I do. What about rook f8? If I play rook f8, there's always this check, killer check. Does he sack the exchange? Okay, okay. Let's bring this guy up. I assume he's sacking the exchange. I don't know if the bishop's worth anything near a rook, but as if I get rook c8 and the king aggressive, I might make things fun. If the rook comes to the c file, there's always c4 snuffing things out. Maybe something like g4 coming up. And so he's going to make me with his... No, let's not think like that. Rook c8, c4, okay. There's g4. Unfortunately, there's rook f7. Okay. So bishop e3 here. You can always take... I don't want to lose my pass pawn potential. On the other hand, okay, that's tricky. Let's just check this. Is he doing this? He probably is. Okay, a different plan. Hold on to a7, play for bishop c3, rook here. Try and weave a mating there. He plays c4 though. It's not working, is that? So the problem is always he's got this annoying rook f7 check all the time. What about simply rook f6, g4 for a moment? Try and get these pawns going. Hopefully without getting mated. If I get f3, f2, I might be happier. Oh, I suspect this is not good. Yeah, it's going to take, isn't he? Oh. I think I'm done for. He's just taking, isn't he? Ah! Ouch! Oh man, you got me. Revenge is yours. Okay. Ow! That's my reaction. Ouch! Okay, crashed my rating down to 20, passed down 2300 again. Oh, well played. Okay. I thought I was getting some compensation there for the exchange. I was optimistic. There was not enough. Not enough compensation. Trying to play a solid opening here, the Caro-kann. Okay, I think this is a reasonable position. A6 for knight c5. Without knight b5, that's plain knight b5. As bishop e5 could be tactically useful for the loose pieces potentially. Bishop e5. I should probably go after this game. It's been quite a while, hasn't it, guys? How long has this been? We come on next week, but I'm happy a lot of you have challenged me this week. And I can't get even through the challenges. So that's really cool, and I even aborted some, and I still can't get through the challenges. So I'm hoping there's a lot of interest in the show, and you enjoyed it. But I think I might have to make this the last game this week. Is b4 really a force to be reckoned with? I'll get out of the. Think I get out of the way of b4. I want to play like bishop f6 and knight a4, maybe queen b6. Right, so queen b6, b3 is knight b3. Except he just takes the bishop. Hang on, he takes the bishop, takes his bishop. In fact, I can improve that. Rook d2 then, queen d2, queen b6, b3, knight b3. There's b4 there, there's knight a4. This gets all a bit complicated. There's also queen b4. But in fact, when I first looked at, having a rook on the 7th can't be that bad. I think there's compensation there. So queen e5, rook d2, queen g7, I can centralize the rooks. Still with threats like knight a4, b3, knight c3. I think it's still dangerous when she got a rook on the 7th. It's pretty dangerous. Queen g7, I'm happy with a rook on the 7th. Knight d3, b3, knight a4, b3. I just need to try and see if there's anything there. Immediately might be threatening knight d3. It's queen g7, I want to double the rooks. Was knight d3 because it's hitting b2 and the queen. There's queen g7 protecting everything still. Okay, so if I just do this for a moment, as previously mentioned, keep a rook on the 7th. Now knight d3 is pretty dangerous. I think this is a dangerous scenario for my opponent. Knight d3 is almost like mating. Queen c3, knight f4, b3. f6 is possible just to save a few pawns. Queen c3 does knight e4. Queen c3, knight e4. I mean, it looks pretty strong. Queen e3. Is my attack gone after queen e3? That's the problem I see. Is the attack gone? The rook's on the 7th though. Am I not just winning g3? I'm kind of just take and then win g3. Rook g1. I mean, that's good enough, isn't it? Surely, just to win g3. Rook g1. I'm not entirely sure about. Okay, rook g1. What's happening after rook g1? Knight f5. I thought rook g1 was needed to try and win back some material. Because here I think I'm just going to go after my opponent's h pawn. I'll swap g7 for h5. just in case that was a dangerous h-pawn. If it gives me a chance, I'll put a rook back on the 7th, maybe. I want to crawl my king up here. That pawn I don't mind losing if I can get my king up there. Well, this one's weak. I'm putting my money where the mouth is now on rook here. Takes, rook f2 takes. My king comes up. Probably. Or, alternatively, I can cut the king off anyway with this move. Nice rook on the 7th. Cutting the king. Trying to get more aggressive king the slow way. Might be more prudent. The pawn can go all the way there. The king can go all the way there. There's a 3-2 pawn majority here. I can try and seal down these pawns first. And create some dangers with moving this pawn a bit. So there's always like a rook a2 at the end, trying to pick up a rook. Maybe king's useful here against this 3-2 pawn majority if I'm not in a rush to go over there. h3. I'm not budging just yet. Interesting. I like my position because the king is kind of cut off and I've got this dangerous, what seems to be a dangerous pass pawn. Now my opponent's pass pawn has got my king there. He hasn't got his king to easily stop my one. Now we have this situation. I can go down here a bit. So rook a1 is now threatened with the classic takes and check. So we have this position. Is he in some sort of zugzwang? Zugzwang. King a2, a4. Right. Now there's two targets. On rook f1, rook h2, rook f4. King b3, rook b4. Or rook c4. This point might be worth cashing out now, my h2 pawn. On a4 I can bring the king up. Okay, so there's that one then. Right, there's two pawns on either side now. Now if he ever goes for this pawn, which I don't really care that much about because it's double pawns. Has he got time for that? f3, rook a5, f2 is rook f5. Maybe I do want to care about that pawn at the moment. Also, there's nifty looking rook f5 and rook f7. f3 and then rook f5 is nifty looking for f2. So we have this position. Is he not getting overloaded or what? No? Apparently not. Looks almost as if I haven't got anything to do here. Hold on a sec. King b8, rook a8 after. Let's try this again. With king a8. There's no c7. Am I pushing my luck? If I get this pass pawn, it's cut off from the king. Well, that's just a rook's pawn. That's notorious for drawing. This might not be entirely clever. I'm gonna say, okay, I lose that one, but I get pressure on c6 now. It looks difficult to draw this on first sight. Okay, I've got to go actually, otherwise I might be tempted to play a bit even longer than this very long session, but I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I think I got through most of the challenges this week, but thanks for the interest. And thanks for the games. I really enjoyed this. I don't know about you guys. I hope that was fun. It was fun, right? On a scale of if 0 is no fun and 10 is fun, I hope, what would you guys vote here? Any votes for? If it was like 0 was no fun, 10 is great fun. Please let me know in the chat. Yeah. But I've definitely got to go. Great week, and yeah. Okay, yeah, please consider becoming a premium member as well if you want to challenge me next week. And 8.679, okay, thanks. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cheers guys, and maybe see you next week. That was good, yeah, that was good. I didn't, thankfully, I didn't have an internet disconnection this time. That was good. All right, cheers then. See you next week. Comments, questions, likes, appreciated on not just my channel version of this video, but Chess24. Yeah, make sure that you give a like to the video. Likes much appreciated. Thanks very much. Cheers then.